No,
Yes,
I was
fellas.
relaxing.
Yes, fellas. Welcome to Bala Sport. Got my guys Lino, Eddie, 49ers, Kansas City Chiefs fan. What's going on, fellas? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, bro.
Happy Sunday. Let's do this.
Lino, look at you, man. Another game, another victory,
Another sloppy game, another sloppy
another.
victory.
There we go. Eddie, how you feeling? I just got to
Dis-
check in.
Honestly, disappointed. Um,
Hold on, let
we-
me let me let me get it. Let me get it all started before you go. I
okay,
understand the game
okay.
just over. The reaction is there. I feel you. I feel you, bro. Because it is one of the top teams played against each other today, man. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the 49ers. The Kansas City stay undefeated. Practically Mahomes and the rest of the squad stay undefeated. Excuse me, 28-18. And Brock Purdy and well, I won't say Brock Purdy versus practically Mahomes. Is Kansas City Chiefs versus 49ers. Eddie, talk to me, bro.
Yeah, disappointed to say the least. It was a very sloppy game by both teams. Um, we had two crucial turnovers inside the red zone, took points completely off the board, which could have been a difference of how the team played down the stretch. But because you never took the lead and you kept making critical errors, failure to tackle, giving up a 35 run to Patrick Mahomes is just crazy. That's just poor tackling. Um, but they deserve that. I mean, we didn't play to win. They played to win, even though both teams played sloppy. But it's a disappointing game because we had opportunities to take control over that game and we failed to do so.
Damn, that was quick. So, what do you think about? I know there was injuries that happened there, man. Like you guys losing a lot of key players,
Lost Debo before the ball even kicked off, illness.
right?
Lost Brandon Ayuk on that play across the middle. It looked like he could have hyper. Worst case I'm hoping for is that he hyperextended it. Um, it's just a bang bang play. It wasn't nothing dirty. He just got hit high and low, and unfortunately, you saw the way that knee bent. You knew he wasn't coming back. So everybody deals with injuries, but those are two big misses. Kittle and excuse me, Samuel and Ayuk. It
Right.
takes a lot off your plate offensively.
Yeah, 3 turnovers. For Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
What do you think of the turnovers, man? I know you got about 212 yards and 3 interceptions, but dude,
forced. Well,
yeah,
one play he got his arm hit. The other
right.
two were forced. Like, but he was trying to force on that third interception. He was trying to force the ball into double coverage. The first interception was double coverage. Um, I forgot what the second one was, but those were all just bad reads. Like, I'm not sure if some of it had to do with missing your one and your two, but he was playing hurry up. He wasn't the same Brock Purdy that looks very composed and poised in the running the offense. Steve Spagnuolo did a great job of just speeding him up, putting his timing off, and the fact that you have three receivers playing that don't normally play or don't have a lot of reps didn't help either. So, like I said, they had opportunities to capitalize and take control of that game, and they failed to do so.
Yeah. Damn. Lino, the Chiefs, they undefeated, the only undefeated team in the league right now. How impressed are you with your start of the season so far, man? And then tell me your take on the game. I got a lot of questions for you, but because I know Patrick Mahomes is not playing his best football, but it's still winning. I don't know how they're doing it, but I guess you better tell me that.
Yeah. If you're saying impressed for the season, I give it I give it a 6 out of 10. We're not playing well offensively. Mahomes, there's no way to slice their dice. And Mahomes is not playing well. He's missing guys. The communication seems off, and that happens when you lose you have your top two receivers down. So you have people like Sky Moore who should be cut like in the locker room. He should walk back to Kansas City or wherever the hell he's from because he dude's got to go. This game was such a big game on paper, and to watch the collective receivers that both teams had to work with, it's amazing that there was balls being called out there. It was a sloppy game, like Eddie said, very sloppy. I know a lot of people are going to look at my home stat line. Oh, he threw 2 picks. Defensive lineman got his hand up. It's what you're supposed to do. Is what you taught his defensive lineman. Just happened the ball got batted in the air. The second one, defender slipped, and that was just an easy pick for the defender. So I'm not gonna put that on Mahomes. Maybe the first one, if he could just throw it higher over the line. Okay, you got me on that one. But overall, he played winning football today for what he had to do because he has talked about this before. He takes that Tom Brady mentality. He sees how the flow of the game works. Okay, my defense is playing lights out. Let me not do too much. Let me take the risk when I most definitely have to, not because I have the luxury to. So he played game manager, and that's what he's been doing pretty much all year with what he has to work with collectively, even though he is not playing well. He's not. Let's just get that out the way. But he made some plays today when he had to with that 33-yard run down the sideline. And he uses that sideline as another defender because you got to think about all the NFL. It's towards the offense. Offense, we want NFL wants points. So and you see the defenders, it's like they were kind of like, if I hit him and it looks like he's going out, I'm going to get this 15-yard flag. So he kind of stops, let the defender go by him, and he just scampers on through. He did that in the AC Championship game in 2019 against the Titans when he kind of just acted like he was going to run out of bounds. I've seen him do this multiple times in his career, probably a good 10 to 15, honestly. And then he kind of has a over my dead body play where he scampers in and trucks Mustafa at the goal line for the touchdown. But it's just he's not playing well. Our offense is just not there like we're used to seeing. And I said this a couple weeks ago, and I've said it to people just out in the streets when they ask me what the hell is wrong with my team, even though you're undefeated. And I've said this, and people look at me like I'm an idiot. We're a running team. We have Mahomes. I don't care. You go to your strength. Right now, we had 186 yards on the ground today. Kareem Hunt is playing very well. So we are going to play to our strengths. We are going to run and run and run. And that's hopefully going to set up the pass a little bit to see what we can do in these next couple of weeks. Hopefully, Brett Beach is on the phone calling her some team to say, hey, you guys want a third round pick for wherever you got because we need a receiver in the worst way. It is bad. But overall, the game, I mean, it was sloppy. It didn't really live up to the hype that, Fox wanted when they got this game back in May. But we got the win, and hats off to the defense because that's what's carrying this team. That's what's carried that team into the championship run last year, and that's what they're going to stick with this year.
Right. This is what, week 7? Every game, Patrick Mahomes play, he threw interceptions, man. How many more games can the Chiefs defense keep you guys going, overcoming these turnovers? In today's game, of course, the 49ers have injury. Every team has injury. But Eddie, moving forward, like, what does the Niners need to do better without missing all these key players? What can you guys do to sustain winning games?
Well, first and foremost, Kyle really doesn't play his rookies wide receivers. So you have Pearsall, who just made his debut this week. Cowing, who's been he missed some training camp, but he just came. Bell's second year. But for the most part, Kyle really doesn't play rookies. And I could never understood why. It's more like a trust thing. But you need those guys to get those reps.
Right.
For situations just like this today. But today you were forced to play them. You didn't have a choice to play them. But you're pretty limited because I don't think they know the whole playbook as far as what he might want to really, really run. But as far as they can do, they gotta get those guys up to speed. You gotta give them real reps, and you gotta start playing your rookies when you draft them. There's a reason why you draft them. You don't draft them to sit them. You draft them to play them.
Right.
He has a known track record for doing that, but yeah, it came back to bite today. They played okay, but just too many bad turnovers in the red zone. You can't overcome that. I don't care how good or who's pulling the trigger. You turn the ball over multiple times in the red zone and not get any points, you're not going to be a good team.
Right. Hey, fellas, look who decided to join us, man. He's always coming up late. Mr. Solo, welcome back. Thank you for being here. The game was already here.
Thank you. Thank you. Some of us have some busy schedule. We got to travel back and forth.
Here we go. This guy always make it seem like he's the only one with a busy schedule. Talk about some of us got a busy schedule. We got to go back.
Some of us, we got to go back and forth.
I know. I'm just, but you see, the Chief just won the game like 28-18, and Lino, Eddie. I mean, Lino, Eddie, don't let this face fool you. Lino was texting me being happy as hell, man. Don't let him feel acting like he's all humble right now. Nah, he's sitting here being all humble when deep down he was talking mad trash in the text message. I ain't gonna read shit, but
Yo, Mosa, I just have a question for you. Did the ref help today?
The ref helping me what? Oh, that Kansas City. No. I guess after the bye week, the contract with the referees didn't go right. So the referees just decided there was no questionable calls today. Kansas City won this game fair and scored. The defense won it, as he says. But Solo, I know you just joined us, man. But what is your takes on this game?
Well, first of all, the 49ers have a lot of injuries. I mean, it's not an excuse. But with all those injuries, there's no way they will beat the Chiefs. But I think at full strength, they will give the Chiefs a good game. I mean, you want me to go to the Bills game or not?
Nah, we still on the 49ers. Just give me a quick take because I know, the Bills game. Yeah. Oh, this guy can't wait. See, this is the thing about Bill fans, man. Every victory, they can't wait to brag about it.
I wasn't even gonna brag. I wasn't sure how far you guys went. But like I said, the 49ers, I think they can beat the Chiefs, not if they're not at full strength. They need to play a perfect game to beat the Chiefs. I mean, we saw it in the last Super Bowl last year, and we saw it from today. They're just not. They don't have enough weapons as of right now to beat the Chiefs.
Today it wasn't about the weapons though. It was about bad turnovers. Weapons had nothing to do with it. That they were still moving the ball. They still generated explosives, even with what they had on the field. But if you turn the ball over and not score any points, you're not beating anybody.
Right, but having your weapons would help.
It does help, but they were in the game. They were in the game. You were in the game. I believe it was 14-12. You turned the ball over.
Yeah, and then the kicker missed the point after.
But I mean, besides that, it still would have been 14-13. But at the end at that point, 14-12, you turned the ball over in the red zone.
Why did they go for two at that point?
What you mean? Why didn't they go for two? They didn't have a need to go for two yet. You were only down one score. You didn't have to go for two.
Well,
that's a good question because I was wondering the same thing. When it was 14-12, I'm thinking that they're going to go for two, trying to tie it up.
Right.
Either way, you're down a point. Less than 3 points.
Wasn't necessary. I don't think it was necessary.
I mean, you're down 14-13, 14-14. It doesn't matter. You're still in the game. Now, if you're down by 8 points, I get it. You go for two, but you're not down to where you have to panic to go for two. Right?
I mean, it wasn't.
Kicker missed the extra point. You're still down by a field goal. But you get the ball back and then you turn the ball over.
It wasn't necessary, but it could have changed the momentum at that point.
Nah,
maybe,
or it's possible.
What if they don't get the 2-pointer and then you got fans out there? Oh, they should just kick the field goal, make it a 1-point game. We would never know. We would never know.
I put it like this: when plays don't work, they say it's the worst call ever.
Right.
When a play that shouldn't works, they be like, "Oh, that's the best call ever." True. It's like that with football all the time. With armchair fans, listen. At the end of the day, you're down by one score, field goal, but you can't get the ball back and then turn the ball back over. You just can't. That's what creates the momentum turnovers.
You're right.
Angelino, is Patrick Mahomes undefeated against the 49ers? I know Andy Reid is undefeated against Carl.
Yep.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough, man. One of the best quarterback
How
in the
many-
league against one of the best team in the league. That's crazy.
How many? Do you guys know how many times he's played them?
I think this is the
5.
fifth. Yeah,
5 times.
5-0.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
That's on some Tom Brady shit with the Buffalo Bills. But speaking of the Buffalo Bills, man, moving on to the Buffalo Bills, because I know this guy can't wait to talk about the Buffalo Bills. So go ahead.
I don't know why.
Man, I don't know why,
That
but
was a terrible game.
It's not even.
played it-
Hey,
come on, man.
they played
Oh,
terrible
hold
game.
on. So check this out. So Amari Cooper debuted today. They didn't score a touchdown. Josh Allen slow start, but Buffalo Bills still end up winning the game 10-34. If you look at the score line, you think it's a blowout from the
Right.
gate, But talk to me, man.
It wasn't. They played poorly the whole first half. Actually, they had a bunch of 3-and-outs, and we know Tennessee, even though their record doesn't show, they have the best defense in the league. What's been missing for Tennessee is the offense, just the quarterback play, and the offense has been killing them. But the defense is good. But that shouldn't be the excuse for Buffalo Bills. You're playing at home, and I know probably with Amari Cooper coming into the team, I'm sure they're trying different new things. And I don't know why it took so long to finally put it together. But I can admit they played poorly in the first half, just so poor. Even though they went at halftime leading, they played so bad. We saw how good they can be in the second half when they put everything together. I was hoping Josh Allen could score 4 touchdowns because I think they say he needed 3 touchdowns to tie Patrick Mahomes with the most touchdowns in the first 100 stats. And Josh Allen played his first.
That is a skewed stat, sir, because Mahomes only played one game in his rookie year. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. And he's got more passing than rushing. You know, Josh Allen got rushing and passing. Don't bring that skewed stat over here, Solomon, because he's gonna get tossed out like garbage.
What?
That is waste management stat, and you know it.
Listen,
You know it.
I'm just telling you what they've been talking about on the news, on the TV all day long. They said he needed 3 touchdowns to tie Patrick Mahomes with the most touchdowns in the first 100 games. It doesn't matter where they play.
Mahomes just had his 100 start a couple weeks ago. He's got 3 Super Bowl wins. How many Josh Allen got? Come on now.
Listen.
I'm bringing it up.
We are not even talking about Super Bowls. I'm just saying they're the fastest players.
I'm surprised you don't got a Super Bowl trophy with you.
It's right here, bro. I keep it on deck. Come on now.
Listen, I was just saying, since Josh Allen got in the league, he has scored a lot of touchdowns, rushing and throwing. And if he scored more than 3 today, they say you'd have to Patrick Mahomes with the most touchdowns in the first 100 games.
So Josh Allen had 21 out of 33, 323 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And I'm shocked he even threw for over 300 yards because that first half, I don't know how many yards he had in that first quarter and second quarter. And I mean, he came back strong. And all these yards came like from a couple big plays to Coleman and then to Amari Cooper too. So he didn't play that well, but they had big chunks of yards that gave him that start. I'm sure he wasn't proud of how he played, but listen, a win is a win.
Yeah, Eddie, but when you look at the Bills' record at 5-2, does that actually does the record actually define who they are as a great team, or they just playing? Oh, it's based on who they play.
Well, being 5-2 doesn't make you a great team.
Nah, I think that
they're just a good team.
I think every team in the NFL, since you've seen in the last 5 years, have using the first 6 weeks as a glorified preseason because nobody practices and just about nobody plays in the preseason. So everybody is really getting their legs by week 6. That goes for linemen, linebackers, everybody. So to see what a team really is going to take you to really week 7, week 8. The fact that they just got Amari Cooper, I think is going to be it's going to take a couple of weeks to see what he can really look like in that offense.
Right. It's too early.
But by any means, I think they got some stuff to clean up. Obviously, everybody do. So 5-2. Listen, you take any win you can get right now because that matters at the end of the year.
Sure.
So I think right now it's just survival until you go down the stretch. But yeah, I would love to have 5-2 record.
Right. and another thing, waking up for the Buffalo Bills, like their division is not as good. Like all the teams in the division today lost. We're about to watch another team lose in a few minutes from now to the Steelers. I hope the Jets lose. So that's also helping the Bills.
That's tonight or tomorrow night? That's tonight.
That's tonight.
No, it's right in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But you never know, man. They got Adam backs. Maybe things might switch for the Jets. I mean, we all know Bills got this division. But Lino, talk to me, man, about the Buffalo Bills season so far, because I don't want to let Solomon just throw jabs at Patrick Mahomes without you talking about the whole team, the whole game. Yes, you was. Because you're always trying to compare Josh Allen to Patrick Mahomes. Every time when you're trying to do that, we always shut you down. But it's okay.
I didn't even try to compare the two. I just said he needed 7 amount touchdowns to be the fastest to get to, so many touchdowns in the first 100 games.
All right, Lino, talk
Josh Allen is not the best quarterback. He's the second.
Can I please?
We already know that.
Can I please?
We already know that.
Hear Lino's part now.
No, I mean Buffalo. They're a very good team. They did what they're supposed to do. They played a bad team and they blew them out. Like you said, the score didn't indicate how close this game was until early in the fourth quarter. That's when they kind of pulled away. Titans, they played a great game until for some reason you come out in the second half. Or no, was it the second quarter when they went for it on the fourth down and they didn't get it?
Yeah. Yep.
I was very confused by that because they were running the ball very well, and you go for it. I think it was 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. You pretty much get stopped behind the line, and then you try and go for it again. If you go for it on 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, and you don't even sniff a yard, why are you going to go for it running up again? It just doesn't make sense to me. From that point on, the game would just turn momentum completely flipped into Buffalo's hand. But yeah, Buffalo, they're doing what they're supposed to do. Our biggest thing is what can they do when they play teams that they're going to play in January or teams on their level throughout the regular season. That's any other game. I really don't care, and that goes for any team. I want to see what the Ravens do when Ravens play competitive teams that they're going to play in January. I want to see what the Chiefs can do when they're playing teams that they're going to play in January. That's what I want to see. So cool, you beat the Titans. Like I don't. Who cares? You know what I mean? What are you going to do when you play teams that you're going to play in January? That's it. Because we're not talking about the Bills and they beat a team in October. Who gives a damn? What do you do in January?
Well, yes, the thing about leaving upstate New York here, man, we know what the Bill fans are saying right now. Let's go 34 points. We back. I mean, like my neighbor can't stop texting me, telling me the same thing over and over.
Yo, Lena, listen. We all know that the playoff matters, but we are not there yet. We are trying to analyze the games from today. You just can't say I got nothing to say about this game because it doesn't matter. No.
That was not the question. That was not the question. Musa asked me, "What do I think about the Bills this season?" Not today.
This is a show. We're talking about football from today and the past 5 weeks. You just can't say, "Oh, it don't matter. Talk to me in January." That's not how it works.
No. I also said talk to me when you play teams on your caliber, which you've already been 0-2 against with the Ravens and the Texans. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
We got to analyze the game today. That's what happened. We once we get there, we're gonna cross that bridge.
Oh, the competition.
That bridge gonna burn. That bridge gonna burn. That's gonna fall like the Baltimore bridge.
You know, man. Solo is kind of sneaky. First, you almost start comparing Josh Allen with Patrick Mahomes by touchdowns. Then now, when he says what he says, now you sound like you got a problem with that because you want to analyze just the game. Why you didn't focus on just analyzing the game instead of comparing the touchdowns that they made since they've been a rookie?
It was just a wrinkle in today's game. They said Josh Allen needs 3 touchdowns to get to so many touchdowns. That's all. It wasn't no comparing the two quarterbacks. They were just saying these are the 2 fastest quarterbacks to reach so many touchdowns in the first 100 games. That's all. And I was just saying we're talking about the season so far and today's games for the most part. So yeah, we know that playoffs matter most. Winning Super Bowls is the most important thing. But until we get there, we still gotta talk about the games that are going on right now. We can't just skip, go to the end. If that was
All
the
right,
case,
fellas.
Listen. I gave you my take, and you weren't here for Moose's take against the Eagles and Giants. All he said was, "Come on, man, we played the Giants." That's all he said. That was the take on the Eagles game today. We
Actually,
played the
you know what?
Giants, and you played the Titans.
You know what?
That is very true. That is very, very true.
You know, you know what? Thanks for bringing that up, man.
you just can't dismiss everything. Wait until January. What's the point of having the podcast if we're gonna wait until January?
That is actually a compliment to Buffalo Bills fans and you all around because I'm putting you guys in January already. Look at me. Putting you welcome to January, Solomon.
Fellas,
Here we go.
fellas, let's move on.
We're not in January yet.
Ooh, that's not a backhanded compliment.
We're in October. We are games played today.
Yo, but in fact, let's move on to the next one, which is the Eagles and the Giants. They were just playing the Giants, so now hype. So this basically is a short story, right? Eagles won 28-3, but it's all about the guy that returned back to MetLife Stadium, which is Saquon Barkley rushed for 176 yards. I believe more yards than all Giants players combined, which with one touchdown in a memorable game. This is the kind of games he would live to tell his grandkids. First game back to a team that basically didn't want me, told me to go find somebody else. If you could find better, then go there. If you can't, they come back to us. He said, hell no, I went to Philadelphia. Although the Eagles season is not, I'm not impressed with the season so far, but this is one of the games I was impressed. Jalen Hurts he didn't need to do much. He did what he had to do, just not to turn the ball over. Saquon basically did the whole thing. This was Saquon Barkley show and the Eagles defense. And as an outsiders, man, what you guys think about the game and Saquon's performance?
I think that's your identity. Y'all been trying to go away from your identity ever since your past Super Bowl. Like, the Eagles have an offensive line, run the ball. I can never understand when you had games last year where you had Swift and you would run the ball. Swift would look great and you just wouldn't run the ball anymore.
Head coach.
That is your identity. Hurts isn't meant to be a drop back passer. He's not meant to carry y'all. Y'all built around your offensive line in the run game. So it perplexes me how they just won't run the ball. So when teams y'all supposed to beat, y'all struggle with because y'all don't like running the ball.
Lino, what do you think about the Eagles so far, man? Especially this game, because I think that this is probably the most. Well, it's almost Saquon anyway. Complete game, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching all 7 1:00 games at once on 2 different TVs, so I was keeping my eye on it until it kind of got out of hand. But from what I watched, this was as impressive as I seen Philly in probably almost a year now. They look great on offense. They look great on defense. I don't know about special teams. I don't know what they did, but I didn't hear anything, so it looks great. I didn't see any Nick Sirianni videos and him chanting at the fans or nothing like that. So everything was good in Philly land. And that's what I thought. That's what I thought it was going to look like from week 1, where you have big names on every level on offense and defense. So hopefully you could take this game and put your best foot forward and build on it, because you got a lot to build on, and this is a great stepping stone.
Right. Solo, when you see the Eagles, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I was going to ask you a question about your take on the Eagles games.
No,
because I know how you about to get into it. I mean, you said all these things about who the Eagles are playing all season. That's what you told me about. Well, guess who they're playing? What? Well, who did they play? Now today you don't want to talk about the Texans or Tennessee. I mean, my bad.
The Eagles?
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, they play the Giants, like Musa said.
Oh, no, you didn't do that, man.
Yo, you did that too.
No, you didn't do that, man.
Hey, first of all, listen. I was watching this game here and there. Of course, the defense played so well. Daniel Jones, he couldn't throw for 100 yards. What, 99 yards?
Yep.
First of all, I gotta give credit to the Philadelphia Eagles. this is the first game that they completely, I think, they had a complete game. And now you guys are asking why don't they always run the ball? When you have AJ Brown and this type other receivers and all these weapons, it is hard to have that balance. Just continue running the ball because you got to make sure your receivers are happy too. And sometimes the game detects what you're doing, what the defense is giving you. So sometimes they're gonna run the ball. Sometimes they weren't able to run the ball. In this case today, they ran the ball great. I think AJ Brown had what 89 yards, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, so that was so, and he was the only one eating. Nobody else was eating.
Yeah,
was
but he
on
had a
him.
41-yard catch and run and
Right,
for a
right,
touchdown.
right. So I think Philadelphia is a good team. They haven't played the Commanders yet, right?
No.
I mean
Not yet.
that would be a good test, but yeah, I was impressed. I was just playing when I said they play the Giants. Listen, even on the other side, you got professional players making millions playing hard, so you can't underrate any team in this league. So this was an impressive win. I can't even lie. The score looked good. Coaching was excellent. Plus they were
Saquon.
on the road, and I'm sure they made an effort to make sure they keep feeding him because I'm sure they were kind of playing for him. They wanted him to do well, and he worked out so well. And that
Yeah, I
was
mean, like,
impressive.
yeah, I agree with what Eddie said, man. We have to go to Philly needs to identify. Well, they have to figure out what his identity is, and I think the running game worked, especially when you got Saquon. You rushed for 176 yards against your former team, and the Giants' front line is no joke. We've seen it, especially the last few games. But another thing that I was impressed with the Eagles since the bye week is that they're going after the quarterback. The defense stepping up. The Georgia boys today, man, I think they combined for like 5 sacks or something like that. They're how they're balling. But there's another team in the NFC division that Lino always say that I don't think they're contenders. I don't think we're not. But today, Lions topped the previous undefeated team, the Vikings.
When did I say that?
You always tell me that how the Lions are not a contenders because this week you don't know what to get from them. Next week you don't know what to get from them.
I never said that.
Solo,
You must be
stop.
thinking of somebody else. We all know Lions are contenders, bro. I never said that.
Now you saying that. So
Never said that. Pull up the tape.
Yeah, pull the tape. Yo, Lino, I think what he's saying in the past, we all have kind of overlooked the Lions. Really,
I said that.
You don't give them as much. You don't give them as much credit as they deserve.
Musa, if you're talking about our NFC Championship preview, when I said I don't think the Lions are going to beat the Niners, then yes, you got me because they're inexperienced. You got me, Musa. I do remember saying that. I gave Lions no chance in that game.
You told me to pull out the tape next, like about 3 weeks ago. You said, I don't know what to get from the Lions, so I wouldn't really call them a contender yet. Blah blah blah. But the Lions just defeated the undefeated team in the NFC, the Vikings, 31-29. Eddie, you said this was the best game this Sunday. Give me a take on that game, quick, please.
It was the best game because it's two powerhouses. Brian Flores with his defense against Detroit in his offense, and especially when they're in division, they know each other better than anybody. So the fact that it went down to the wire with the last field goal kick, yeah, it was entertaining from start to finish. Very good high IQ football, but that game could have went either way. The Vikings could have easily won that game. Detroit could have easily won that game. Detroit did ultimately end up winning that game, but that just tells you how close they are as far as the competitiveness between those two teams. That division is going to be a hard division. Is between because the Vikings barely beat the Packers, so it's going to be interesting who ends up winning that division. Because who ends up winning that division, you're probably going to have to go to their place, and it's going to go through their turf for real.
Lino, what do you think?
This dude funny.
I thought the Lions played very well. I thought they played Dan Campbell football because Dan Campbell was all about grit and biting kneecaps. That was a very gritty win to be down 10-0 and come back. I don't know what you still laughing at, but nothing is funny. All right, they played a very good game. To come back from 10-0. I know it was only the first quarter, but when Minnesota had the ball up 10-0, they could have, went up a 3 possession game, and they didn't. And Lions were able to take advantage. Lions jumped up, I believe, by 10 points as well. And then Minnesota, like it was just back and forth, and it was a very entertaining second half for sure. First half, not bad. It was good football. Second half, we got entertaining. That's where it started to be flip flop, and you think the Lions are gonna take a 2 possession lead, and then turnovers happen, and then you got Minnesota tying it. It's just a great game overall. But like Eddie said, that is a tough ass division, man. I mean,
Right.
the Bears are probably, if you want to argue, the worst team in the division, and they're pretty good themselves. I think it's going to be that division. It's going to come down to whose asses do we want to kick the most. Like the Lions are going to beat up on the Packers. The Packers are going to beat up on the Lions. The Vikings are going to beat up on the Lions. It's just who's going to survive that. And we kind of see this throughout history, where you look at the best division, and it never really turns out when it gets to the playoffs. It's always like that one random team in some stupid division that ends up taking it all. But yeah, I mean, it was a great game overall. That last drive by Jared Goff to set it up for the game-winning field goal, gritty win. Go Lions!
Let's go. There you go. No, Solo.
Hey,
Solo.
Need that, bro.
Solo, this is the question I was gonna ask before I start laughing, because every time I talk about the Lions with you guys, especially Lino, I gotta laugh. You always got something to say about the Lions. You always got
No, we don't. There's something to say about the Ravens. But go ahead.
And is it time for us to take the Lions serious?
of course.
I think you should have took them serious last year. They were a couple plays away from being in the Super Bowl last year.
Right.
So,
I mean,
Eddie, I'm so glad you. I mean, I know you're the new addition. I'm so glad that you're here. But these two gentlemen right here, I got tapes. I got tapes.
I've always
Pull 'em out. Pull them out, man. Just pull them out.
All right.
I've always given credit to the Detroit Lions, man. First of all, that division, I don't think anybody can show me a division better than this division. I mean, the Chicago Bears, who's the worst team in the division, they are 4-2, and that's the worst team. There's no any other division that is as good as that division. The only thing that really concerns me is that all these 4 teams, they're gonna beat up on each other. So when it comes playoff time, like Lino was saying, that's how you're gonna see one of these teams. Whoever wins the division, it doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna go make a deep run in the playoff. They'll probably get knocked out in the first round because they just be so beat up, and I'm sure they're gonna have a lot of injuries. But that division is tough. Like it is even impossible to predict who's gonna win that division. I mean, we thought the Detroit Lions by the Vikings just came from nowhere. Like everybody thought the Vikings gonna have a down year. They're gonna finish last. I look at them now.
That, though. Everybody forget Kirk Cousins got hurt last year.
Yeah.
So nobody knows what they were going to look like last year. They went through 4 quarterbacks last year. So the fact that they went through 4 quarterbacks, nobody knew what the Vikings truly were,
right?
Offensively and defensively. And Justin Jefferson got hurt last year. So
right.
the fact that you have a quarterback this year and everybody's healthy, you are seeing what the Vikings could have been last year.
Right, but we know Sam Darnold.
They were winning with Kirk Cousins until he tore his Achilles.
Right, but Sam Darnold is not known to be a great quarterback. His stops the first few years. So
he had terrible stops.
Right, we did, but we didn't know what to expect though. If anybody asks you at the beginning of the season who'll be the top 2 teams in that division, I'm sure you'd have said it's going to be the Lions and probably the Green Bay Packers, not the Bears and the Vikings, right?
True.
Agreed. But that's what I mean. You never. That's what I mean. You never know when you have 2 major injuries like that. You never know how a team is truly going to look. The fact that they went through 4 quarterbacks, we never knew what the Vikings could have been because they were on a roll last year. They were really on a roll till Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson got hurt. Justin Jefferson got hurt before Kirk Cousins. He ultimately came back, but that injury to Kirk Cousins really derailed their year. So,
right, but we also saw how the Green Bay Packers, how good they played last season, and the Detroit Lions, how well they played last season. That's why I didn't think the Vikings gonna be in the top 2 or top 3.
I mean, the Vikings had a top 10 defense last year with nobodies because of Brian Flores. So
Well, yeah, is
the fact that they really upgraded this year and brought in key additions for that defense and they solidified the quarterback position, they were going to be a problem.
and
Right.
you know what? And this year will be the best year to argue. Now people argue that maybe for the playoff they should just pick the best teams and not by division
The top
because
eight.
because this division right here, we might have 2 or 3 teams that will miss the division that are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solo, talk to me about the Washington Commanders. That TJ Danny went out with a ribs injury. I don't know.
He
The Marcus
came-
Mariota took over
Yeah.
and throw for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. Is the
Right. I mean-
Commanders really the team to beat in our division?
Why is that a clip you're playing?
Nah, I logged on the ESPN.
Oh, hey, yeah, the Commanders are for real. They have because they finally have a franchise quarterback. Their defense is excellent, and I know they play the Panthers today, probably the worst team in the NFL. Right? You guys agree?
It's
Right,
always the
was-
worst teams unless the Bills play them, you know.
No, you gotta agree that the Panthers are
I'm
probably the
just
worst
playing,
team. Then, but so you gotta give credit to the
Or
Commanders,
the
man.
Patriots. One of the two.
Yeah,
Take your pick. The Jaguars ain't that far either. Somebody had to win at
What?
1-5.
why the Jaguars wanted it. So yeah, but I think and I know Daniel he got hurt in the I think what first quarter, maybe second quarter.
Yeah.
And they,
Yep.
I think they did some express according to his mom, and they know mom knows better. She said he was fine. He came back and he gave thumbs up to everyone. But how about Marcus Mariota? He comes in and there's
Right.
no drop off. See, that's what you need to have a backup like that.
Or maybe-
not too many teams have a backup like that.
Or maybe it's a team that they're playing against. That team,
Maybe,
dog.
but still, it's an NFL team on the other side too. So you got to give Marcus Mariota credit. He's an experienced quarterback. He's seen all kinds of defenses. He's playing for so many teams. So I'm glad for the Commanders. They're probably the best team in that NFC East for now. I have to wait until they play the Eagles and see how good they are.
Okay. Hey, Lino, one of your favorite teams in the NFL, the Bengals, beat the Browns 21-14. What is out for the season? Got injuries out. I mean, God, man, this guy,
He needs to
what a
retire.
battler. You know, I don't know what to say about him. I mean, just wish him speedy recovery. But talk to me about the Bengals. Are they clicking? I know they're playing the Eagles next. That's Angel's favorite team in the NFL. You know, don't let him tell you otherwise.
Do I think they're clicking? No, I don't. I think they're beating the teams that they should be under schedule. I don't think they're a good team. They picked it up defensively the past 2 games. Whether it's the teams that they played or just maybe something is clicking on that defense. But it seems to be that Ravens game when they played, the defense was not clicking. And the offense was these last 2 games. The offense really hasn't exploded like you thought they would have when they thought they can build on something after the Ravens game. So they have favorable matchups outside of the Eagles game next week. The Bengals, their upcoming schedule. After the Eagles, they play 2 more kind of bottom feeders, and then they got the Ravens again. So next week will be a good little litmus test for the Bengals and the Eagles to see where they're at, to see if are the Bengals kind of clicking or are the Eagles clicking? Who's going to build off of their wins this week? We'll find that out next week.
Yeah, big bro
And
Eddie.
why-
Go ahead.
And why is this game 1:00? By the way,
What game?
This game, the Eagles and Bengals game.
Are you kidding me?
They got to put that game in prime time.
No, actually,
Absolutely not.
actually,
Nah.
at first it was a 4:25 game, and they switched it to 1:00. And
Absolutely
I agree
not. What
with
do you
it.
mean, man? It's Joe Burrow, man. It's still Joe Burrow though,
It's the team.
and the Eagles.
They got the Bears and Commanders at 4:25 next week.
Well, that was before Danny got hurt. But Eddie, Texans, Green Bay, 24-22, Green Bay pulled it off for the final second of the field goal kick by Brandon, whatever his last name is.
McManus, Brandon McManus. That's
McManus. Okay. Yeah, what are you? Yo, dude, CJ Stroud only had 86 yard passing. What's going on with the Texans so far with CJ Stroud?
I could tell you.
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure if they have injuries on the receiver end of the ball, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Texans. They don't look like the same team they were last year. Go ahead, man.
Did you get what was the fight about at the beginning? Steph Diggs and what happened? You guys know?
No.
Somebody called him a diva.
Oh, really? Is that for real?
No, I don't know. No, I have no idea.
Oh,
Here we go again.
there's some fight in the beginning. I don't know what it was.
They're running the ball good, but for some reason they're struggling. Even Joe Mixon had a solid game, but I can't tell you honestly why they're struggling, because sometimes they look really, really good, and then sometimes they look like they're trying to find a way to get it going. So they've been off and on this year from what I've seen, but I can't put my finger on that.
Yeah, Lino.
I was talking to my nephew before the game. We were kind of putting some bets in. He wanted to go CJ Stroud over like 250 passing yards. I said, whoa. I said, you got to think about how good the Packers defense has been playing with a new defensive coordinator coming in. And I'm assuming they looked at that Texans-Vikings tape when CJ Stroud looked like a second-year rookie in that game. And I think they took a little blueprint from the Vikings to put it into this game, just kind of put the Packers twist on it, because he didn't look good at all today. And they ran the ball well, not how they had been, but they ran it, I feel, good enough to set up the pass, and it just wasn't there. And I don't want to say that Nico Collins is a big miss in this offense as far as putting up points, because they still have playmakers. If they didn't have any other playmakers, obviously Nico Collins would be a huge loss. But they still have a Joe Mixon. They still have a Tank Dell. They still have a Stephon Diggs. I don't understand what's going on with this offense, because even in their wins, they haven't looked impressive offensively. So I just think they just need to go back to the basics, run the football, quick passes, stop going for these deep shots, or just play simple football and just build off of that.
So you got something to say?
But it's interesting because I'm scrolling through the box score. Tank Dell had no receptions. Dalton Schultz had one reception. So it looks like they're just not getting anybody involved. You gotta get that quarterback going if you want to be successful. Get them in rhythm, some short passes. But if you look at this box score, it's pretty putrid. It's pretty bad.
Yeah,
I just think the Packers had a great defensive plan. They gave them the short passes, but the problem was there was no yards after the catch. So Steph Diggs had led all receivers 5 catches, but he only had 23 yards.
Yeah, but he had 4.6 yards a catch.
Right. So they were preventing them from getting that big play. Right, the Packers defense was preventing them, so they gave the short passes. I think that's why they were able to run the ball so well, because, like you said, John Mixon had 115 yards with 2 touchdowns. He averaged 4.6 yards. So they gave them the run. I think that's why it looks like they run the ball well. I think the way they play the defense, they just make sure that they don't get those big plays. We didn't see it, like he didn't throw down, like there was no long passes at all. It was all short passes and long. What?
Yeah.
Obvious.
They had a couple guys with double-digit yards per catch, but
but
catch.
yeah, but one catch, 2 catches, 5 catches is just not enough.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying.
I think it was just a great game plan by the Green Bay Packers. You gotta give them credit.
All right, fellas, man. I appreciate you guys. Lino, give me your last take on the 49ers and the Chiefs game. I know you got something to say. Talk to the 49er fans.
So there's nothing to say to the respectful 49er fans, but if you want me to talk to the asshole 49er fans,
That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about Eddie now, man. He cool, man.
no,
it's
you're not.
like,
We talking
nah,
about
nah,
Eddie.
nah.
We ain't
Yeah,
talking about
because-
Eddie.
right?
We
'cause-
talking about the other ones that just randomly hit my inbox.
Which ones? Which ones?
Nah,
Give
no
me some
calling
names.
names.
Call them out.
I don't know names. Sorry, I'm not going to give out names. I hear I'm a respectful asshole. No, I mean, all in all, it was a good game. The game didn't live up to what it should be because of injuries and sloppy play. We got the victory. That's all I can say. The ugly win, but an ugly win is the ugly win is the ugly win. That's it.
A
I
W
don't know.
6-0.
I don't know what you want.
Next
was
week
like-
against the Raiders. Next week
it was
against the
like-
Raiders.
I
It was
cannot
sloppy,
wait
man.
for that game, bro. I cannot wait for the Raiders game. Ain't no team
Why?
in this world that I hate more than the Raiders because they talk too much.
But they're not even that good.
It doesn't matter. It's the things that they do. It's the things that they say. They still are living off the Christmas win, bro. Their fans are still living off the Christmas win. But then we went into your house and planted our flag on your 50-yard line when we won the Super Bowl. Our champagne is still in your locker room, probably. Just so you all know.
So like, would that be said? What if the Raiders snap your winning streak?
Then the Raiders have the winning streak. Listen, it won't surprise me if the Raiders win next week because as bad as they played, you bet your ass they're ready for the Chiefs because that's their Super Bowl.
It's a divisional game, man. Divisional games
It's a-
always are
absolutely.
always fun, man.
Anything
It's
can
a-
happen.
It's a rivalry, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, Jack Jones, this is his best game right here. He loves to talk. And he'll get Max Crosby. He'll all of a sudden just come out and look like Bruce Smith. I mean, this is what the Raiders do. And then the next week after they play the Chiefs, they're gonna look like dog shit. So I fully expect to give fully expect to get the Raiders best shot next week. They're gonna look like the Los Angeles Raiders, not the Las
Well, you
Vegas
know, man.
Raiders.
I don't know why you're getting pumped up for this game. We all know the Raiders not gonna do nothing. They're gonna get blown out
It's a division
next
game.
week.
Hold on.
It
Hold
doesn't-
on.
Hold on. Oh,
It
that's-
doesn't matter.
hold on.
That's what you guys said last year on Christmas. I said, listen, it's a rivalry
They
game.
beat
It's
them,
going
right?
to happen. And Aiden O'Connell didn't even throw a pass between the end of the first quarter and the middle of the third quarter because all they were doing is running. And Mahomes, we had back-to-back turnovers where Mahomes threw a pick six, and then we had a scoop and score fumble, and that was their calling card.
You know, do you think the Vegas this year they're better this year than last year?
It doesn't matter.
Hell
bro.
no.
It doesn't matter.
It's
No,
a,
man.
you're,
I can guarantee you gonna be 2 touchdown victory for the Chiefs.
But what I'm saying is, teams you play in your conference are always going to play you differently than teams you play out of your conference. It don't matter how bad they are; they always going to get up for those rivalry games. So anything can happen. All it takes is a turnover, special teams play.
Right.
That's all it takes, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Last year, Jets and Patriots and Dolphins. We thought really made the playoff, but Jets and Patriots they beat you week 1, and then you guys went into New England and they beat you guys. We didn't expect that. I'm pretty sure New England was probably a 10, 11 and a half point underdog, but they won because it's divisional. That is their Super Bowl. They have nothing else to lose but to make you lose. So why not?
Fact.
They're 2-5. The Raiders are 2-5. What do they have to play for? All they're going to have to play for next week is to beat the Chiefs. That is what they want. That is all their fans want. They have their fans coming in with these Kermit the Frog hand puppets in training camp with a Mahomes jersey on it, and then you got the players reposting that clip on Twitter, on their social media, and Mahomes sees it, and you know what he says? We'll see in October. I'm not going to answer no questions until October. Well, it's here, and you bet your ass. I don't care if Mahomes has 0 receivers out there. You're going to get the best version of him because he has mental notes right here, and his trainer that he's had for almost 15 years now, Bobby Stroop, he documents them all in his DM and shows them to Mahomes throughout the week as motivation. Trust me, I know it. I'm a fan. I see it. They talk about it in the off season. You don't say stuff. You don't say a lot in the season because you don't want to give any teams ammo. But when that Super Bowl parade comes out and these interviews after they start talking a little more, they kind of let their hair down and they start telling of these stories. Oh yeah, I heard about this. I knew it, but I didn't want to say much. We're ready to beat the Raiders because that game means so much to them next week. You have no idea what this game means to the Chiefs. Trust me, they remember how the Raiders celebrated on their field Christmas Day. They're
All
ready
right.
for this. They're
All
ready for
right.
next Sunday. You bet your ass. I can't wait,
right.
bro. I cannot
All
wait.
right, all right. With
I-
that being said, Solomon, Solo.
I hear
I'm sweating.
everything,
Y'all
man.
got me sweating. Y'all got me
I-
sweating, man. You know I hate the Raiders.
I hear what you say, man, but I'm telling you, this one it won't even be a game.
Okay.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Solo moving Seahawks, Bills next week.
Next week. Oh yeah,
Going to
it's gonna be-
Seattle. Quick take.
It's gonna be a tough game because Seattle's so unpredictable. 1 week, like in the beginning of the season, they were really good. The past couple of weeks, they kind of looked okay, and then today they played so well. So I'm not sure what to expect. I hope the Bills will be ready for that game, but it's gonna be a tough game.
All right, bro. Big bro Eddie, 49ers hosting the Cowboys.
Oh
Is this a
man,
good time?
Kick their ass.
Is this a
Kick
good
their
time?
ass.
Listen, it's a chance for them to get back 4-4, go into their bye week, see who they can get back. I believe they might open up McCaffrey's window after the bye. It's a couple other people they get off of IR. So we'll see. We'll see what the Niners look like after the bye. But right now, put a Band-Aid on them.
All right, fellas, man. I appreciate you guys for being here, man. Thank you so much, man, for another NFL Sunday. We're gonna continue doing this. If you guys don't mind. I know, Solo, thanks for joining us. Eddie, appreciate you. Lino, congratulations on the W. Back-to-back against the 49ers. If it wasn't a sloppy game, I would have celebrated you guys beating the Niners, by the way. But you know I am with the Niners. Then it
Yo,
did.
man.
They are in our conference, so that's all.
I didn't even realize the Niners record. I didn't know it was that bad. I thought they were like.
That's a conversation for another day, man. Let's get out of here, yo.
Yeah, man. Gotta go watch that. Gotta go watch the Jets game.
Wait a minute,
Yeah, man, we gotta go check.
bad?
No, I didn't realize that they've lost this many games. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Well,